We trust experts with our lives, our health, our finances, even our future. But what if I told you that many of them aren't as smart as we think? What if they're just lucky? Science has been quietly exposing this for decades, and what it reveals about real expertise might just shatter everything you thought you knew. And if you are aware of the Dunning-Kruger Effect, you are almost certain that confidence isn't always competence. The illusion of knowledge drives our institutions, our experts, even our personal decisions. But once that illusion cracks, the entire system begins to fall apart. You know what? Let's talk about it.
We can talk about it.
What's up, everybody? This is me, Marvin. Hello. Marvin, what's 1 plus 1? 2. Okay. 6 plus 6? 12. 16 plus 45? Hey. 61. So what just happened there? Did my brain just suddenly glitch? Does that little pause mean I'm just bad at math? So what you just saw there was my brain switching systems. And that single system switch is key to understanding almost everything about how we learn, how we master skills, and what it really means to be an expert. So right now, we can talk about it. What you just saw was a perfect example of what the Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman calls our two systems of thought in his book Thinking Fast and Slow. He calls them System 1 and System 2. My answer to 6 plus 6 was instant, automatic, no thinking. That's what Kahneman calls System 1, the fast brain. But 16 plus 45? That made me pause. I had to think, really think. That's System 2, the slower, more deliberate part of my brain that handles brain-draining tasks, which I could call the slow brain. So how does that tie into expertise? Let's look at the science. Here's the real secret to becoming an expert. You have to train your slow brain until your fast brain takes over. And we are actually going to talk about this point later on in the video. A lot of experts we trust are just good at sounding sure, and science has proven it. In one of the most extensive studies on expertise ever conducted, psychologist Philip Tetlock tracked the predictions of political and financial experts over 2 decades. These weren't random YouTubers or Reddit bros. These were Harvard professors, government analysts, world-renowned economists, as in the best of the best. With over 80,000 predictions, you know what? These guys performed worse than random chance. Some did so terribly that a monkey literally throwing darts on a board would have outperformed them. And why is that? Because expertise doesn't work the same in every field. You know, when learning a skill, one of the most important aspects is feedback. It's this feedback that indicates to you whether you're doing a good job or a terrible one. When learning a piano, it's the feedback that tells you whether you're playing the right keys or not. In that way, you're able to adjust accordingly. So Kahneman introduced 2 systems of feedback, noise and signal. Noise is basically randomness and unpredictability. It's a system of feedback that is mostly misleading and unusable. So you realize that systems like financial markets, elections, global pandemics, most of which feels like real expertise, is just simply guesswork in disguise. You might win, you might be right, but that doesn't mean you knew what you are doing. It's just like winning a lottery. Nobody calls you an expert after that. The same should be said for these fields. Nobody should call you an expert because you're operating in a noisy environment that rewards confidence instead of accuracy. Now, for systems where the feedback is predictable and repeatable, we can look at chess. So we all know who Magnus Carlsen is. the greatest chess player in our generation? Why is he considered an expert but a hedge fund manager isn't? It's because Magnus operates in a system with stable rules, consistent feedback, clear consequences, and a repeatable pattern.
Most of the time, I know what to do. I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to sit there calculate for 45 minutes, an hour to know what the right move. Usually I can just feel it immediately.
Magnus became an expert by simply memorizing thousands of games to a point where he just knows what's next without thinking, because now he's using System 1, his first brain. It's not guesswork. It's a fact that the next move he plays is correct whether or not you believe in it, which can't be said for political pundits. So if you want to be an expert, avoid environments that offer high volatility, go for environments that offer repeatability, and make sure they provide high quality feedback. If those three aren't there, then your expertise is an illusion. You're just simply getting better at guessing. Let me explain. One of the reasons as to why I fell in love with science is because it doesn't care about your feelings. I don't care if you believe in what I've said so far. That doesn't take away the fact that it's true. So if you want to be an expert, you don't need to possess natural talent, just follow this specific process according to science. Real expertise doesn't start with intuition, it starts with effort, with awkwardness, and friction. If you are to remember our two systems of thinking, System 1 is the instant and immediate system, the fast brain. System 2 is the careful and lazy system, the slow brain. So when you're learning a skill, that skill is unfamiliar to you, so it goes to your slow brain, System 2. And that's exactly what you want, because over time, your slow brain starts handing over that skill to your fast brain, System 1. And that's when real magic happens. That's when the pianist stops thinking about every note. That's when the programmer stops Googling syntax. That's when the martial artist moves before thinking. System 2 simply teaches System 1. So, if you want to gain expertise in a given skill, keep repetitively doing it. In that way, you're thinking it through using System 2, and with time, your brain will deem it important to you and then transfer that new information to System 1. But repetition alone doesn't make you better. It's the quality of feedback that counts. For example, if two people play chess every day, one reflects on every game, reviews mistakes, studies better strategies, and the other just plays, no review, no adjustment, just playing repetitively, only one of them improves, because repetition plus feedback leads to learning. Repetition without feedback leads to stagnation. And that's what psychologist Anders Ericsson called deliberate practice. And this one is often overlooked, but it's everything, because not all fields are equal. Some fields are more equal than the others. If you want to become an expert, start in a system that has clear rules, gives honest feedback, minimizes noise, punishes guesswork. For example, when learning the guitar, once you play gibberish, the output is gibberish. In forex trading, you could place a random trade and make profit. Trust me bro, I've done it. True experts aren't the ones who always look confident, they are the ones who doubt the most. Because the deeper your knowledge gets, the more aware you become of how little you actually don't know. So if you want to be an expert, stop trying to look smart, start trying to learn smart. Train your slow brain, give it feedback, choose the right environment, and never trust your confidence more than your results. That's how real expertise is built, and science has proven it. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below. Thank you for watching the video.